Hello everyone, Brad Johnson here, and welcome to another episode of Adronis Downloads from Sirius. So this is going to be a very interesting one, as Adronis is going to be talking about OEIEO. Now this is a particular type of intelligence that exists within our galaxy and represents kind of a crystalline, I guess you could say, gateway. It's almost kind of like looking at a snowflake and zooming into the snowflake and seeing life within the snowflake. And this is basically what's representing an energy known as the OEIEO. That's basically how it's pronounced. You're basically just attempting to try to pronounce this without any type of consonants that are contained within the name. So it's basically OEIEO. And this basically represents our mainframe relating to our galaxy. So this was something that was brought to me a while back. And Adronis is going to be talking more about this type of intelligence, and he's also going to be talking more about the idea of creation knowing itself. So this might be a bit of a technical video that Adronis will come through, and there may be a lot of technical information that may be coming through, but if that happens, just got to do your best to kind of tune in and look behind the words, as there really is no real simplicity on a large scale relating to these type of topics. So I'm going to go ahead now and connect with Adronis, and we will get started. So here we go. We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this particular broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. We will share this particular perspective relating to what you would know as OEIEO, relating to this particular type of energy. And we will then move forward into the next topic, which is the idea of creation understanding itself, creation knowing itself, creation aware of itself. The whole idea relating to your galaxy is that it represents a symbiosis. It is symbiotic in regards to the body that you would consider to be universal nexi. That this nexi of the logos, to which you would understand, to which this galaxy in that sense harmonizes, aligns itself with, is in parallel to many others. It is a microcosm to macrocosm relationship, just as your own planets are aligned together with your star, and just as other stars are aligned together with galaxies, etc. It works together in this microcosmic to macrocosmic relationship. The whole idea relating to the OEIEO complex is that this represents the mainframe, as it were. This would be the heart pertaining to the galaxy. It is the idea of an organism. The idea of what you would consider to be, when looking at your own forests on your planet, that the organism of intelligence spans throughout the idea of your physical backgrounds, through the idea of your physical landscapes, and that it is all truly one organism. All that exists upon your world, relating to the seas, the oceans, relating to the land, relating to the air, to the atmosphere, to all life present upon its planet, is one organism. And that the galaxy herself, representing the idea of the OEIEO complex, is the idea of this organism that has spread out its branches, representing the idea of a toroidal galaxy, relating to the idea of its energetic patterns and physical representation of manifestation. The OEIEO mainframe is the connection to all life, relating to its bondage. That other particular galaxies that you would understand, other particular forms of ideas of nexi that represent other galactic understandings or galactic intelligences, all have their own particular, what you would call, name or sound that would be appropriate to their vibration. For example, if we were to look at the galaxy that you would understand through your language known as Andromeda, the particular sound complex that would be representative of its own energy would be as follows. U, E, A, E, U. U, E, A, E, U. OEIEO. That would represent the idea of its sound complex, in association together with OEIEO. OEIEO. This represents what you would consider to be a contingency pertaining to a masculine and feminine counterpart. And that the idea relating to your galaxy, our galaxy, we will say, as we are also involved with it, and the galaxy that you would know as Andromeda, is that they were originally one galaxy that separated itself together through a harmonic division. Through the idea of one particular galaxy that became two was the divide, from which you would understand through your own physical illusion based upon the idea of the separation of the masculine and the feminine. For this occurred a great time ago, basically in regards to the idea of the division in regards to our original galaxy that has come to place. But the idea of your Milky Way galaxy and the idea of the Andromeda galaxy, as you say, were particularly one being, one nexus. And that through the creation pertaining to this galaxy was separated in regards to what you would know as sound frequency vibratory splits that allowed them to once again become separate. And now the whole idea is that there will be a time that is quite distant, as it were, that represents the idea to where they will collide in harmony and bringing themselves together into equilibrium. So the whole idea really is that the separation effect is all part of the experiment for the galaxies of Andromeda, the galaxies of the Milky Way, or the galaxy of OEIEO and the galaxy of OEIEO would once again become whole. Now again, this is quite a ways, as you would understand your space and time nexus, that it will be quite some time before that does happen. Nonetheless, the realization of the galaxies coming together is the incorporation of the idea of androgyny, that the masculine and the feminine become one. They are harmonized. There is no longer the idea of division. There is no longer the idea of separation. And through the, shall we say, great distance within what you would understand as your future, other particular galaxies will merge upon themselves. Again, a very long time away. Nonetheless, this will happen in regards to a state of galactic harmonic convergence. And that the whole idea, when we go back to the OEIEO galaxy, representing our galaxy, that everything in regards to translation, that everything regarding thought form, that everything regarding expression and experience is all condensed in regards to this crystalline gateway that represents the idea of the OEIEO mainframe. All beings that communicate with all other beings that are localized within this particular galactic logos operate together in the energetic equivalent of, shall we say, a superhighway that represents crystalline form to which all beings communicate with. The crystalline is not entirely solid as what you would understand. There is a part to that, but the crystalline gateways, from what you may also understand as singularity nexi, from what you may understand also as energetic contingency, from what you may also understand as pipelines, flowing together energetically, connecting the galaxy, binding it together as it were, based upon what you would consider to be light, sound, frequency, gravitational harmonics, is all induced, is all condensed, is all contained within the idea of the OEIEO mainframe. That the particular beings that were responsible for designing this particular infrastructure are also the particular beings that were responsible for creating humanity. You can refer to these beings as the Elohim. You can refer to them as anything that you would like. Any particular form is fine, but that basically is how it is. That the architects that have created humanity, that have been responsible for the creation of many, have also been what you would consider to be the highway forgers, pertaining to the idea of this complement to the creation of this particular galaxy, during to the point of when it was whole with Andromeda. That through the division between that of Andromeda and between that of this galaxy attained its own consciousness. It became more self-aware in regards to what you would know as Oversoul Collective. In that sense, representing a paradox, but nonetheless applied. The whole idea here is that you will understand throughout more of your spacefaring civilization, when it does get to that point, the understanding of the relationship of instantaneity, of intelligent infinity, pertaining to our galaxy, that will be shared with many of you. You will understand in time how all particular galaxies were once one, and again all became self-aware. That the dates from which you would understand in regards to the age of your galaxy is simply representative of the basis to when it became self-aware. There were times in regards to your own expansive history, as it were, that relate to the culmination of the idea of Andromeda and of the Milky Way together as one, far before anything else that you can understand. So again, together it was one. It was then branched off through self-awareness, and it will eventually come back into oneness. So there will come a time to where there will be harmony, harmonized unification. And there will be also other particular experiments to where you will notice in your grander degrees of working together with other galaxies that are still attempting to harmonize themselves to the point of androgyny, to the point to where they are merging. And you will eventually become galactic-based specialists existing within higher dimension. And that's the whole idea. So that every particular form of life that exists in regards to this particular galaxy, relating to the OEIEO mainframe, is utilizing the mainframe in regards to its connectivity, just as the roots of a tree are always connected to the bulk, just as all of you are. And that is the representation about how we are able to channel in this way, to connect in regards to this form of galactic property, to communicate from our dimension to this particular conduit. For all other particular entities that communicate with other entities in this form is all sifted through the idea of the OEIEO mainframe. And this is what we will share relating to this phenomena at this time. To begin with your next subject, relating to the idea of creation becoming aware of itself. The whole idea really is that the awareness principle is ever expansive, is ever infinite, and that you are simply working together in the form of a fraction to which you would understand through your space and time nexus to gain an understanding of fundamental understanding of the gaining of all perspective as one, containing to a planetary level, containing to multi-planetary level, containing to star system level, containing to galactic level, that will then attain itself into full hyper-dimensional reality. And that the perspectives that the one is able to observe is the perspectives that it has relating to the knowingness of itself in regards to this gamed experiment. And that is how it operates. That many may ask, are we all just simply existing as a phenomena of experience in order for us to get to know ourselves on a creational level? Basically representing the idea of, is creation aware that it is aware of the experiences that we are performing within this reality? Yes, it is. Simply because the whole idea is that the experiment represents the, once again, expansion and contraction relating to the phenomena of perspective. That when you look at the idea of perspective, it represents distortion. It simply represents, again, fragments, roots, avenues that represent themselves in a burying, in a descending, relating to that which represents consciousness. And that every perspective of one person, one individual upon your planet, is a distortion relating to the idea of many other perspectives that are gathered around that are able to dig the roots deeper and branch themselves off in a type of mitosis that continues to represent a higher form of expansion through the one, that best understands itself through the fractal distortions that it conveys based upon the root elements in regards to its own curiosity and ponderances, relating to all spectrums, relating to all forms of contrast, relating to all forms of expressions in the deepest way possible, not being significantly affected through the idea of polarization, but moving itself more so into the state of neutrality for it to gain fundamental understanding of its existences, of all of its particular ponderances, and all the ways of the whole of mirror effect, to bring itself to shine more light, to reflect the mirrors of consciousness together through all life forms, together through all entities, together through all essences, together through all expressions, together through all other facets of beingness that represent its harmonic of understanding its own omniscient perspective back upon itself infinitely, intelligently, forever and now. That is the whole idea. Now we understand that may be a bit of a thing to take in, but in the most simplistic way, that as you understand yourself as an individualized entity, you are one mirror upon an infinite mirror. You are one reflection upon an infinite hallway of reflection. You are one particular casted shadow upon an infinite amount of casted shadows surrounding itself with light to become luminescent. And that is the whole idea. It is the paradox. It is the infinite. Will creation ever stop reflecting upon itself? No, it will not. This experiment is infinite. The idea of incarnation is infinite. The idea of expression is infinite. The idea of experience is infinite. It never ends. Because there is no end for one to truly understand the one. Because there will always be depths of degrees relating to how far you can go. To where the roots never stop growing. To where they never stop expanding. To where they never stop fractalizing. And it is very similar to how you would understand of looking at fractal art. That no matter how deep you go, the illusion continues. The perspectives continue, no matter how deep you decide to go. Creation, infinitely, will continue to express itself in all the ways that represent its distortions of what you attain through your own perspective, existing within the illusion of self. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending our love, our appreciation, and our gratitude to all who are tuning in to this particular transmission being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. We thank you once again. Farewell for this timing, and we now return to the conduit. We will speak to you again in the infinite moment of now. Goodbye. Whew, yeah, so that'll take some figuring out a bit, but hope you guys enjoyed it, and any questions relating to this video, please feel free to contact me, info@consciousmatrix.com. Thanks again. Take care. Namaste. May it be well with you. Goodbye.